Okay, good morning everybody. Okay, well it's wonderful to be at this new GE facility here today, an $8 million investment by the company, and of course looking at repair, maintenance, but it's wonderful today to be joined by the students as well from Aviation High. We've got the Skills Summit coming up very shortly down in Canberra, and it's very important that we identify what are the skills that Queensland needs for the future. And already we have high schools that are helping to facilitate that pathway to what young students want to do. So it's really important that we have high schools that specialise, like in aviation, to give the young students behind me the opportunity to pursue their dreams. Up north, in other parts of our state, we have TAFE courses now specialising in areas such as aquaculture, different areas of hospitality, aged care. This is really important to link the needs in with the different communities that people come from. So it's going to be very important that we look at what are the skills that Queensland needs for the future. And of course we are going to be in need of thousands of jobs, if not tens of thousands of jobs, in a whole variety of industries. But as we know, the airport's growing here, more flights are coming back as we go into our post-pandemic phase, and we want to make sure that we set this state up for the future, and our state has an absolutely bright future. Today we've got 80 people who are employed here at this GE facility, and of course they want to make sure that they have a pool of high-skilled employees for the future. So look, I'll hand over to Sam from GE to say a few words, and then Gert, and then we'll talk about this first, then happy to take some other questions. So I'll hand over to Sam. Where's Sam? There we go.
Thanks, Premier. Thanks so much for joining us, and we welcome you here to this world-class facility. We welcome the students from Aviation High. This facility will provide the service and repair for the APAC region. It is truly a global facility. It's a skills factory, and we hope one day the children and the students of Aviation High find a place in the aviation workforce in these facilities and others throughout the airport. So we're very pleased to be here. This is an investment in skills capability, it's an investment in the sector, and it's an investment in Queensland and Australia. So thank you, Premier, for being here. Thank you, students, for being here. We hope to welcome you back as you finish high school and enter into the workforce, maybe even in a GE facility like this one here. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome all to Brisbane Airport. Brisbane Airport Corporation is very proud of this new facility. GE Aviation, congratulations guys, it's beautiful. GE Aviation has been a partner of Brisbane Airport for the last 25 years, and it was time for a new facility here, so well done. Jobs, that's the theme for today. Jobs are incredibly important for the airport. We're currently about 2,000 people short to be able to manage the summer peak we're seeing coming, but we believe we need another 10,000 people here working at the airport in the next 10 years on top of those 2,000. And therefore initiatives like this facility to educate people, to train people, is incredibly important for the future of the airport. We don't need only pilots or only engineers. We need people for all jobs at the airport, and we're really keen to work with the Premier and State Government as well as with companies like GE Aviation to attract people to the airport, to work here and develop their careers here. Thank you.
Any questions about this facility? No? No, we didn't put any money in. This is an investment that GE is putting in themselves. So, you know, we're very proud that companies are putting investments in, but what we'll be looking at doing is matching companies with the skills that they need. So already we've done a big survey and we'll be releasing the reports of our workforce survey next week. Well, I think, you know, when you've got an unemployment rate of about 3.8%, we know that we need more people in our workforce, and that's why it's going to be really important to talk to the federal government as well about skilled migration, but also too we want to make sure we've got these pathways for our young students to get into the careers that they want. Okay. Yep. Everyone can just move. No, that's right. Okay, happy to take any other questions. Yeah, well, look, it needs to be thorough. I think Queenslanders absolutely expect it to be thorough, and of course, the public hearings begin today with former Justice Robert Goddison, AO. He'll be leading that independent external review, and they have all the powers that are needed to really get to the bottom of any issues. This is absolutely critical. It's important that we've seen some startling revelations coming out of New South Wales. And I think, Queensland wants to be reassured that everything is being done above board.
The Queensland gaming official in 2015, after the state election, travelled to Hong Kong to speak to association of child ties, talking about they found no evidence at the time of, unsavoury connections. Considering what the ABC and the Australian have now uncovered, was that a failure of bureaucracy in your opinion?
Well, my understanding was that they did go, like you said, in 2015. They did their investigations. I understand that also it was checked through police at the time as well. But look, I think we should let the independent inquiry do its job, and any new evidence that comes to light or any other revelations should be forwarded to that inquiry.
Premier, is there any conflict of interest with you or your office that would stop you from being able to sign indemnity for Jackie Tradd when the first one was given?
In terms of?
Well, it was signed by Stephen Miles when he was deputy.
Yeah, I was on leave, yes.
I understand that. Is there any conflict of interest that would have stopped you from signing? Could you have signed it if you were not away?
Well, I was on leave. So there are rules that are followed and those guidelines are followed.
It's a specific question. Was there a conflict of interest that would stop you from signing that if you were
well, I was on leave.
I understand you're on
Yep.
leave, but was there a conflict of interest that would stop you?
The guidelines were followed.
If you can't answer the question, it then raises other questions about whether the government had any other interest in keeping this report secret.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So there wasn't.
The government has no reason why this report should not be made public, and this is a matter for the courts at the moment, and I'm not commenting any further until the court process are finalised.
Okay, very specifically, last time.
Yes.
Is there a conflict of interest with you or your office?
And,
to stop you from signing?
and what I'm saying very clearly to you is the court processes are underway, and I'm not commenting. She followed the guidelines. She followed the guidelines. The guidelines were followed.
So you won't say whether you were or weren't told?
The guidelines were followed. They are very clear guidelines, and the Attorney-General has to follow that. She's the Attorney-General of the state, and she has followed those guidelines.
Premier, are you content with how Commissioner Carroll and Queensland Police have handled disciplinary action against the officers who made rude and misogynistic comments?
Look, I have full confidence in the Commissioner. The Commissioner is leading from the top. She understands that there are a whole range of issues that are currently, well, it's not just in the police service, it's actually in the community as well. And, public education is really important, and she's committed to improving the training components of the way in which officers not only speak to each other with respect, but also in relation to training as well.
Do you know if the CCC was involved in that disciplinary action?
No, I don't know.
Do you think the second officer who was named in the media report should stand down?
That's a matter for them.
Premier, in the paper today, we've got a report from the University of Queensland about the affordability and unsupported doctors' violence and stigma preventing Queenslanders from accessing abortions. It's prompting calls for all levels of government to work together to enable greater access. What is the state government doing in this area?
Well, of course, we've decriminalised abortion in this state, and we believe that women should have the right to choose and be able to be afforded a safe termination of pregnancy where they see fit.
I guess the issue is not being able to access those services.
Yeah, and I think some of the issues there, of course, when you get into rural and remote areas, is the ability of staff to do that procedure. Yeah.
Premier, last week the opposition accused you of making a sexist remark in Parliament.
Yep.
You said that wasn't your intent at all. Have you
Correct.
reached out to those women at all to explain your intent?
I made no comment in relation to them whatsoever. If they feel aggrieved in any way, I apologise. That was not the intent, and I withdrew those comments. Okay.
Is that everything? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Just take a photograph.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I just heard that on the radio, and I understand that that John Farnham's going to have an operation today, and of course I think all of Australia, I know Queensland, would wish him the very best as well. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, well, we're actually going to be releasing that next week in the lead up to the summit, and there was a lot of great work that was put into it. So we're looking forward to it. But, you know, there's a big issue. It's a big issue here in Queensland, big issue across Australia about the skills that we need and the workforce. You know, it doesn't matter where you go, whether it's hospitality, aged care, in our hospitals, rural, remote parts of our state. We actually have a labour shortage supply, and it's about where we are going to get those skills for our economy. And Queensland is going to take off. People are moving here. We've got the next 10 years are going to be fantastic for our state in the lead up to the Olympics. People are very excited by that. But I think having this summit is absolutely what the Prime Minister has said is going to be absolutely wonderful, and it's focusing on jobs, the skills and what our country needs to grow for the future. Okay, thank you.
Let's take a photograph.
Thanks.